Okay, so I'm going to show how to prepare a great looking micrograph using the GIMP, which is free as both in free of charge and free as freedom, in the sense it is an open source graphics software. Let's begin by opening the raw image from the microscope. Let's open it with the GIMP. We see it's a GIMP version 2.8, which is I think the latest version of GIMP. Let's first of all enlarge the image. We have, to those of you who are not familiar, we have the controls here on the left side, the layer menu, which we will going to get to quite soon. And let's get straight to it. First of all, many of the raw images from the microscope come in an indexed format, which means that it has just a specific amount of colors or grayscale shades. So first of all, let's change this, because otherwise we won't be able to manipulate it. Let's go to image mode and set it to grayscale. You see, before it was indexed. So if it is already in grayscale, or if it is colorful, it is already in RGB, don't change it. But since it is indexed, we change it to grayscale now. Okay, so we didn't notice any change, but it will allow us to modify the image. Now the first thing I would do, we can see it's quite blurry. The first thing I would do is go to colors and levels. Now here, let me enlarge it a little bit. Here we have what is called a histogram, which is actually the frequency of pixels from the brightest to the darkest one. We can see that the main region here, the main density of the pixels, is somewhere in the middle, which is good. It is it's supposed to be this way. Well, it would be better if it would last from one end to another, but it's better than overlapping the edge. So let's just move our darkest size to the beginning of the distribution of the pixels, and the lightest to the end of the distribution of the pixels. We can see already a considerable improvement in the image. I can switch the preview, and you can see that now the image is much more clearer and more details are visible. I should notice that by moving, by stretching, actually what I'm doing, I'm stretching the image. So by stretching it, data is lost. The actual data, some actual data of the image is lost. But the visual data, what the eye perceives, it actually looks better and it reveals more details to our eye, which is why it is, and now this is important, it is always necessary to import only the raw images from the microscope, meaning the TIFF or the RAW, I mean with the extension RAW, because these images contain much more data than the eye can see. Therefore, some data can be lost. It is okay for some data to be lost. But if we import some lossy format like JPEG or PNG, it is already a lossy format, so losing more data is will just make it look uglier. So this image I opened is a TIFF image. It came straight from the microscope. Therefore, I can do this. So we can see now the improvement. I'm switching it on and off several times, and I'm applying it by pressing OK. The next thing, we would like to sharpen it a bit. The option for sharpening is under Enhance, and we do not sharpen, it will give a little bit different results. We do unsharp mask. The best results are achieved with the unsharp mask option. You can read what it does. I'm not going to get into it now. It actually kind of well, I'm not going to get deep into that. Let's just remember that it works the best. Here we have the preview button as well, and we can see that it improves the quality of the image. Okay, so let's apply this. You see the image is improved a little bit. Now let me enlarge and and undo the changes we done in order to see what we done. I'm doing Ctrl Z. Oops, it makes me go back to the original display. Okay, so I'm doing Ctrl Z. Now I'm undone the sharpening, and now I have undone the stretching that we done before. So you can see this is the original image. This now is the original image. Now we done the stretching, and now we done the unsharp mask. Let me show it again. Stretching, unsharp mask. Original, stretching, unsharp mask. So we can see that the quality is improved quite a lot. Let me go to the full display. Okay, now the next thing we would like to do is do a beautiful looking scale bar. For that, we need to create another layer. We go to the layers menu and create a new layer. Just accept the defaults, which is transparency and the size of the original image. So now we can see here we have another layer above our original image. Why we need it, I will tell you soon. In a similar way, we do another layer, yet another layer. So now we have two layers, two transparent layers. They are checkered with gray and darker gray squares. This just means that they are transparent. So I remind you, all of it is for creating a great looking scale bar. Now I'm going to enlarge the image. I pressed the magnifying glass here, and I'm going to select the scale bar, the original scale bar region. Now we have the scale bar enlarged. We can see that it is 200 nanometers in length, and now I'm going to select the area of the scale bar by using the select tool, rectangle select tool, which is here in the corner. So we selecting the scale bar. It's important that it will be the same length as the original scale bar, but the height is not important. Let's make it around the size of the original. Now we can take this area, the selected area, and move it. Now we can resize again to 100%. And let's move the area to wherever we want the scale bar to appear. Let's say here. Okay, so let's put it down here. And now you can see that the colors here are black and white. We can change it, but the default are black and white. And we want to fill this area with white color. Maybe stretch a little bit higher so it will be thicker and more beautiful. And fill it with white color, with the background color. To do that, we do Control dot. Control dot fills with the background color. So now we can see it is white. And it is very important to notice, now we are working in the top layer. We are working, I'm going to enlarge it here, all the scale bar, you can actually see the white stripe here. This is the scale bar. It is not on the original image, it is only on the top layer. So we have this eye sign, which is the visibility of the layer. So if I disable it, I can see that the white stripe, the scale bar, disappears. You can see that it appears only on the top layer. So now we want to actually mark that this scale bar, the length of the scale bar is 200 nanometers. So we go to the text tool, just mark some area and write. First of all, let's change the colors. So we change the colors by pressing this arrow here, the swapping arrow. Okay, so we changed, we swapped the colors so that the foreground now is white, and we are going to write here 200 nanometers. Okay, it is a little bit too small. Let's enlarge it a bit. We enlarge it like in regular text editor. Let's just say font size 24 and make it maybe bold. Okay, that's good enough for this example. So let's move it a little bit closer to the scale bar itself. Okay, let's center it a little bit. Well, for the sake of the example, it's good enough. And now we go to the layer menu again here. Right click on the text layer. The text is on the new layer, you see. This is the text layer you see by this letter T. And we choose merge, where is this option? Merge down. Oh, here it is, merge down. So what it does, merge down, it merges it to the layer that is beneath it. So now we have both the scale bar and the writing on the top layer. Okay, so far so good, but it doesn't look so good now, because the text and the scale bar, they are both white, and it has bad contrast with the image itself. So let's do a little bit of background. That's why we need the middle layer for. So let's select all that is white. We have this select by color tool, you see here. This tool selects everything of the same color on a specific layer. So since all things white on the top layer are just the scale bar and the text, we can click here and it will select only that, because we are dealing only with the top layer here. You see, it is invisible. It is invisible on the other layers. It is only on the top layer, so now it is selected, and we go to select. We choose grow because we want the background to be a little bit bigger than the markings. So we say grow by 3 pixels. Yes, 3 pixels sounds good. Maybe let's go even 4 pixels. You can see it here, 4 pixels. Let's choose OK. Now you can see that the selection was grown. Well, maybe 4 was a little bit too much, so I'm doing Ctrl Z. You can see now it shrunk again, and I do again select, grow 3 pixels, and OK, now it's grown by 3 pixels. Now we would like to fill the background in black, so we have a good contrast between the white of the text and the black of the background. But if I would fill it now in black, let me do it for 1 second. Again, filling with background color, it's Ctrl dot, so we have all black. So what we do now, let me do Ctrl Z to undo it. We choose the layer beneath it. We go to the layer beneath it, to the bottom layer. We'll just press on it. Sorry, not the bottom layer, the middle layer. And now when we do Ctrl dot, we see that that it works correctly. Let me enlarge it. We see that indeed we have the background underneath the text, but it still doesn't look so good. So let me undo it. Ctrl Z. It would be more beautiful if the edges would not be sharp, if they would be kind of soft edges. It just would look better. So I'm going again to select. Now I'm going to feather, and I'm going to feather selection, let's say by 5 pixels. You don't see much changes, but now when I do Ctrl dot and I do unselect by clicking outside of the selection, let me enlarge it again, you can see that the edges are not sharp, the edges are soft, and this is exactly what we would like to see. And now all that is left is just to cut the bottom half. Let's go to the cut tool. This is this knife tool here, crop tool. Okay, let's choose it and select all the image, everything except the bottom output, actually the output from the microscope, and press enter. And this will crop our image. So now what we have now is actually our finished image. We have 3 layers. We can flatten it. We can do it just one layer by going to image and then flatten image. Now we have everything unified in a single image, and now we can export it by going to file, export as, not save as. If you go to save as, it will save as a GIMP file that you will be able to edit afterwards, but it will not be an image that you can send it to a publisher. You go to export as, and then you export it as, let's say, figure 1 PNG. It is very important to export in PNG and not in JPG. You may be more familiar with the JPEG format, but it is a lossy format. The files are smaller, but it looks worse. There are kind of rectangles all around. It doesn't look good. So when you're exporting, export only to PNG. And we press export. Just accept all the defaults and let's export it. So now we have, I'm minimizing the GIMP window just for a second. Now we have 2 images, one PNG. Sorry, let's just open it in something else. Let's say in this. So this is the final image. This is the final image. I will enlarge it just a little bit. You can see. And this is the original image. The final image, the original image. Final image, the original image. You can see clearly the differences. You can see the final image is much better. And that's it. That's the end of the tutorial. I'll just enlarge it to 100%. So that's it, and it is all available free on the internet. Works. The GIMP works on every platform. From it works on Windows, it works on Linux, it works on the Mac OS. It is a very small program. You may be familiar with Photoshop, but Photoshop is indeed a really professional program, but you do not need it. The quality of image processing on such level is in the GIMP is exactly the same as in Photoshop. You don't need to spend thousands of whatever currency you use to buy Photoshop, unless you're doing some professional graphic design for fashion magazines. Then undoubtedly you do need Photoshop. But for things like editing photos, editing your family photos, editing images for websites, editing images for scientific papers like we just did now, GIMP is 100% capable and is even better than Photoshop actually, because it is free. It is free as in freedom. You can see the source code. It doesn't spy on you. It is much. It takes orders of magnitude less space on your hard drive. If Photoshop is several gigabytes, this one is like few hundred, even maybe less than 100 megabytes, and it's a great program. So that's it. Have fun.